Welcome aboard, everyone. It's so wonderful to see you back in the galley with me today. If you're new here, grab a jump seat and settle in. I'm Chloe, and I've been a flight attendant for over 15 years, crisscrossing this beautiful country and flying to destinations all over the world. I've helped passengers stow more bags than I can count. I've handed out more pretzels than there are stars in the sky. And I've stood at that boarding door watching the same preventable mistakes happen over and over again. Today, we're going to have an important conversation about carry on bags. Specifically, we're going to talk about 10 completely innocent items that are getting my senior travelers pulled out of line at TSA checkpoints every single day. These aren't weapons. These aren't prohibited items. These are everyday things that you probably packed with the best intentions, but they're causing delays, confusion, and sometimes heartbreak when they get confiscated. As someone who sees the aftermath of these security stops, I can tell you that preparation is everything. So grab a cup of coffee, maybe take some notes, and let's walk through this together. By the end of this video, you're going to breeze through security like a seasoned pilot. Number one, the full-size toiletry trap. Let's start with the most common offender. I cannot tell you how many times I've watched a sweet passenger board my aircraft completely frazzled because TSA just confiscated their expensive face cream or prescription mouthwash. The culprit is always the same, the 3-1-1 rule. Here's what you need to remember. Any liquid, gel, cream, paste, or aerosol in your carry-on must be in a container of 3.4 ounces or less. All of those containers must fit inside one clear, quart-sized plastic bag, and you only get one bag per person. This catches seniors constantly because they're traveling with more skincare products, lotions for dry skin, and larger tubes of arthritis cream. That jumbo bottle of moisturizer you've used for years is getting tossed in the bin. The good news is that medications are exempt from this rule, which I'll discuss in a moment. But regular toiletries are not. Buy travel sizes or transfer your products into smaller containers before you fly. Number two, spreadable foods that aren't food to TSA. This one breaks my heart because I see it happen all the time. You packed a nice container of peanut butter for your grandchildren, or maybe some homemade jam, perhaps a tub of hummus for a healthy snack. To you, it's food. To TSA, it's a liquid. The official TSA guideline is this. If you can spread it, pour it, pump it, or spill it, it counts as a liquid and must follow the 3-1-1 rule. That means your full-size jar of peanut butter, your container of cream cheese, your yogurt cup, and even that fancy dip you bought at the specialty store are all subject to the liquid restrictions. I watched a grandmother last month have to surrender a beautiful jar of homemade apple butter she was bringing to her daughter. She had no idea. If you want to bring spreadable foods, either pack them in your checked luggage or buy them at your destination. A peanut butter sandwich that's already assembled is perfectly fine to bring through security because the spread is now part of a solid food item. But the jar itself is not allowed. Number three, the water bottle. You forgot to empty. This sounds so simple, and yet it causes more delays than almost anything else. You're rushing to catch your flight. You grab your reusable water bottle because you want to stay hydrated. You get to the checkpoint and suddenly you're holding up the entire line while TSA asks you to step aside. Any water bottle with liquid in it will be confiscated at security. It doesn't matter if it's a $5 plastic bottle or a $60 insulated tumbler. If there's water inside, it's not going through. The solution is straightforward. Empty your bottle completely before you reach the checkpoint. Once you're through security, fill it up at a water fountain or refill station. Most airports now have dedicated hydration stations specifically for this purpose. I always tell my passengers to make it a habit. Before you get in the security line, take that last sip and dump the rest. Number four, medications and pill organizers. Now let's talk about something that affects almost every senior traveler. You've got your weekly pill organizer all set up. Monday through Sunday, everything sorted by day. It makes perfect sense for managing your health. But at the airport, it can create complications. Here's the truth. TSA does not require medications to be in their original prescription bottles for domestic travel. You can legally carry pills in a pill organizer. However, this often triggers additional screening because agents cannot easily identify what the pills are. My strong recommendation is to bring your original prescription bottles, even if you also use a pill organizer. Keep the bottles in your carry-on where they're accessible. If you're taking controlled substances like certain pain medications or anxiety drugs, Having that original bottle with your name and the prescribing doctor is essential. It can prevent uncomfortable questions and serious delays. Also, keep a copy of your prescriptions or a doctor's letter in your bag. It's an extra layer of protection that has saved many of my passengers from stressful situations. Number 5, knitting needles and craft supplies. I love my crafty passengers. There's something so peaceful about watching someone knit a beautiful scarf at 30,000 feet. And I have good news. Knitting needles are officially allowed in carry-on bags according to TSA. Crochet hooks are allowed too. So why is this on my list? Because even though they're permitted, they frequently trigger additional screening. TSA officers have the final say on what goes through, and pointed metal objects will always get a second look. I've seen passengers delayed while agents inspected their needles, and in rare cases, an officer decided the needles looked too sharp and confiscated them. My advice is to travel with circular knitting needles rather than straight ones, as they appear less weapon-like. Choose bamboo or plastic over metal when possible. Keep your project small so it doesn't look suspicious going through the X-ray. And here's a crucial detail. Circular thread cutters with blades are not allowed and must go in checked bags. Small scissors under 4 inches are fine, but anything with a blade needs extra attention. Number 6, walking canes with hidden surprises. If you use a cane for mobility, you absolutely can bring it through security and onto the aircraft. Canes are considered medical devices and they don't count against your carry-on allowance. You'll simply place it on the X-ray belt or hand it to an agent for inspection. However, there are 2 situations where canes cause serious problems. First, sharp-tipped walking sticks. The TSA specifically prohibits sharp-tipped walking sticks in carry-on bags. If your cane has a metal spike at the bottom instead of a rubber tip, it may be confiscated. Always use a rubber tip when flying. Second, and this one surprises people, sword canes. Some decorative or antique canes have hidden blades inside them. I've seen passengers genuinely shocked when TSA discovered a sword concealed in a cane they inherited from a relative. They had no idea. If you have an antique cane, especially one with an ornate handle, inspect it carefully before traveling. Twist the handle, check for hidden compartments. A concealed weapon will not only be confiscated, but could result in serious legal consequences. Number 7, power banks and checked luggage. This is a safety rule that catches many travelers, especially those who aren't as familiar with newer technology. If your grandchildren gave you a portable phone charger, you need to know this. Lithium-ion batteries, including power banks, are prohibited in checked luggage. They must travel in your carry-on bag. The reason is fire safety. If a lithium battery malfunctions in the cargo hold, the crew has no way to access it. In the cabin, we can respond quickly. The same rule applies to spare batteries of any kind. If TSA finds a power bank in your checked bag during screening, they will remove it and it will be gone. I've seen passengers lose expensive backup batteries this way. Keep all your charging devices, spare batteries, and power banks in your carry-on where they belong. Number 8, large containers of powder. Here's one that's catching more and more people by surprise. If you travel with protein powder, powdered supplements, powdered drink mixes, or even baking ingredients, you need to know about the powder rule. Any powder over 12 ounces, roughly the size of a soda can, may require additional screening. TSA agents can ask you to open containers for testing. In some cases, if they cannot clear the powder, it will be confiscated. This affects seniors who travel with nutritional supplements, fiber powders, or specialty drink mixes. My recommendation is to keep powder containers under 12 ounces whenever possible. Transfer portions into smaller, clearly labeled containers. And if you're bringing something unusual like a protein powder with an unfamiliar name, consider packing it in checked luggage to avoid delays. Number 9, electronics. You didn't remove. Even with newer CT scanning technology rolling out at major airports, many checkpoints still require you to remove large electronics from your bag. This means laptops, tablets larger than a standard iPad, and sometimes even e-readers need to come out and go in a separate bin. I see seniors get stopped constantly because they didn't realize their Kindle needed to be removed, or they forgot their laptop was buried at the bottom of their bag. The screening process halts, the bag gets flagged for manual inspection, and suddenly you're adding 10 or 15 minutes to your security experience. Before you reach the conveyor belt, have your electronics accessible. Know what needs to come out. And here's a tip. If you're not sure whether a device needs to be removed, ask the agent before you put your bag on the belt. They'll tell you exactly what they need to see. TSA pre-check members can leave electronics in their bags, which is one of the many reasons I recommend that program for frequent travelers. Number 10, wrapped gifts and foil packaging. Finally, let's talk about presents. I know you want to surprise your loved ones with beautifully wrapped gifts. But wrapped packages create serious problems at security because agents cannot see what's inside. If a wrapped gift triggers an alarm or looks suspicious on the x-ray, TSA will unwrap it. Right there, in front of everyone. I've watched passengers stand helplessly as carefully wrapped birthday presents were torn open for inspection. The solution is simple. Wait to wrap your gifts until after you arrive. Or use gift bags that can be easily opened and resealed. The same applies to gifts wrapped in foil or metallic paper, which can obscure the X-ray image entirely. If you absolutely must bring wrapped items through security, pack them in your checked luggage where the stakes are lower. But even then, TSA may open your checked bags for inspection. The safest approach is always to wrap at your destination. Now that we've covered the list, let me give you my pre-flight checklist. Before you leave for the airport, go through your carry-on and ask yourself these questions. Are all my liquids under 3.4 ounces and in a clear bag? Did I empty my water bottle? Are my medications accessible with documentation? Are my electronics easy to remove? Did I check my cane for rubber tips and hidden compartments? Are all my batteries and power banks in my carry-on, not my checked bag? Taking 5 minutes to do this audit can save you 30 minutes at the checkpoint and protect you from losing items you care about. If you found this helpful, please hit that subscribe button. I'm dedicated to keeping my senior travelers informed and confident. In my next video, we're going to talk about the new Real ID requirements taking full effect in 2026. If you don't have the right identification, you won't be flying anywhere, so you don't want to miss that one. Thank you so much for spending this time with me today. Travel smart, pack carefully, and I'll see you in the skies. Safe travels, everyone.